In this video, we're going to set up our game to be co-op ready. So the way this is going to work is we're going to have a main menu, and from that main menu, you're going to be able to select single player or co-op. Based on whichever selection you make, it's going to load either a single player game or a co-op game. So in order to get started, the first thing we need to do is we need to rename this game here to single player. This is going to be our single player game. So single player. Go ahead and duplicate this, and we'll go ahead and call this co-op. Co-op mode. Okay, so we have our two scenes, and eventually, later in this section, we're going to go ahead and create the main menu to be able to load these scenes based on some logic that we create. So the next thing we want to do is open up the co-op mode scene. Make sure you're in co-op mode. You can tell what scene you're in by the top bar here. It will say Unity, the version you have, and then it will say your scene name, .unity. So for me, co-op mode, .unity. And what we're going to want to do here is we need to basically modify this game so that it supports co-op mode. So in order to do that, the first thing that's obviously clear about co-op is distinguishing player 1 from player 2. So what I want to do is I just want to create two different players, and we're going to add color effects to them using post-processing or new materials, whichever is easier. So let's go ahead and select our player, and let's drag him in here, and let's go ahead and shift him down a bit. So here's our player, and let's go ahead and add another player in here. Shift him over so we can see him okay. Oops. There we go. All right, so we have player. This is going to be player 1. Here's player 1, and this is going to be player 2. Player underscore 2. Okay, now these are new objects, all right? They will share the same prefab, but they are new objects. We have player 1 and player 2. So how do we distinguish them visually? We're going to basically be adding some color tint to them. So player 1 will be blue and player 2 will be red. So looking on player 1 here. So to modify them, we're going to select player 1, and we're actually just going to modify their color property. So select player 1, color, select a blue, and go ahead and make that a nice tint of blue of your choosing. So I'm going to go with very bright, sort of darkish blue here. Happy with that. Select player 2, change his color to be red. And there we go. We have player 1 and player 2 easily distinguishable for your friends when they're playing with you. So that is the setup for this. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the main menu. Last but not least, also I want you to go ahead and save your scene so that when the game starts, there's going to be a player 1 and a player 2 loaded in here.